Hey everybody, welcome to First Glance with Jody Vance. I am amped for this next segment. Pun intended. You can see the logo in the corner. You probably recognize the face of Anthony Brown. He is the CEO and director of Amped Ventures. We've spoken a number of times, and each and every time I'm blown away by what you're bringing to the table. Update those who have invested already in Amped and those who might be looking for a place to invest on something very cool and forward thinking, I might add.
Thank you. And it's great to be here again, Jody, and great to see you too.
So tell us what has happened. The last time we talked was just back in December. Feels like a million years ago, and also just yesterday. But I said, please come back and tell us the updates as they happen. So what is the latest with Amped?
Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. Lots of things have been going on. The Departure Lounge has been ramping up. We've had two of their first projects selected by South by Southwest. Now, South by Southwest is a huge festival that runs and conference and so on that runs in Austin, Texas every year. This is where you can go online, you can see Elon Musk getting interviewed and various other big tech giants getting interviewed for various different things, as well as movie premieres and music. It's a giant festival, and to be selected for our volumetric music video that we did with Monstercat for DJ Whipped Cream. And also for the work that we're doing with Shiba Inu on their metaverse project is pretty impressive. Just that, Departure Lounge is flying out of the gate, and their first projects have been selected, and it's a very short list of the projects that get selected. It's a contest. Who knows, maybe we even win those contests and get a South by trophy. Or award from that process, but we won't know until that happens at South by. I think it's next month, but it's all very, very exciting. Also, the DJ Whipped Cream video that we put together also ended up getting featured on the cover of DJ Magazine with not only DJ Whipped Cream on the cover in costume from the video, but then also a nice big full-page article in the magazine from Adam Rogers, our head of creative, who basically helped put that together, that video. So really exciting stuff going on at Departure Lounge. They're continuing to book things. They're shooting today as we speak. They're working with another music video. A big band. I can't name the band until the music video is finished, unfortunately. But I will say it's heavy metal, so it has all kinds of interesting effects and gore and all kinds of things going on. So it's really kind of pushing the limits of what that technology can do, and we're very excited about what the result will be. In fact, the amount of bookings that we're seeing from them is as long as it just continues to trend in the direction it has been trending, we will see the Departure Lounge cash flow positive this calendar year, which is pretty fast out of the gate, since basically the stage has only been operational since last September. On the AMP Technology side, things have definitely been ramping up with the various different customers that we already have on the platform. We signed a few more customers that have not, they're just kind of regular course of business. I think we will put out a press release just announcing a few of those customers together, so people can find out a little bit more about what's going on the Amped virtual studio platform. We do have a few other bigger deals that are in the wings that we're trying to get across the line. But it's like, as a company, we can see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel here coming, and we can tell it's not a train. And that this year things are looking like it's the big turning point for AMP. So it's all very exciting times for us, to say the least. Last thing I guess to mention would be we did also launch a Warrant incentive program just recently. So we have some warrants out there that are going to expire soon, and so we wanted to give an opportunity, and they're going to expire at a higher price than where we're at in the market and so on. And so we wanted to give it out an incentive to all those shareholders who came in and invested in AMP. And so what we did is basically anybody who's holding any warrants can cash them in at 14 cents. We didn't want to go any lower than the last private placement that we did, which was at 14 cents. But
Okay.
if they do, they get a nice spanking new warrant at 20 cents, and it's good for 18 months. And so that's, just kind of a thank you to all of the investors that have come in to date. We want to make sure that that warrant sweetener really does, act as a sweetener for those people. And rather than diluting and bringing in other investment, in another private placement, which we don't really want to do right now, we thought this was a good way to kind of, reach back out to all of those great supporters of AMPD that exist out there and offer them a little bit of an incentive to cash in those warrants. I think there's a bunch of them that are at like 50 cents that expire later this year. And so this is an opportunity to cash those in and get a nice 20-cent warrant. So yeah, that those off the top of my head, those
I
are
love
some of the
those.
things that are going on. Yeah.
These are great. And for the people that are tuned in first glance with Jody Vance, maybe going, wait, I don't even know. What is the departure lounge? What is AMPD? I don't know. So now we're going to feed that portion of our viewership, of our listeners,
Sure.
because Anthony, honestly, you and I have had so many conversations about this, and what you just laid out is truly, in my mind, and if you build it, they will come moment. Your field of dreams is actually your departure lounge, that it is in demand already. And when you're talking about the possibility of cash flow positive in the short term, based on the outlay of costs that you put into this technologically futuristic. I mean, there's really no other way to describe what you've created when you talk about what's possible in the departure lounge. So I know you've said this a number of times on First Glance with Jody Vance, but just in the interest of continuing that story for somebody who is not aware of what that actually is, give us the cameras, give us the lighting, give us the possibilities, the endless possibilities that can happen technologically.
Sure. Okay, so AMP Ventures, which is the top co, is a publicly traded company, currently has two wholly owned subsidiaries. One is AMP Technologies, and AMP Technologies is the underlying computing required to be able to make all this amazing digital content and to do it from anywhere. That's the key advantage with AMP Virtual Studio, is that commodity cloud, the Amazons and Googles and Microsofts and so on of the world, wasn't designed to be able to handle high energy graphics or high fidelity real-time rendering for graphics, interactive applications. Digital content creation is very difficult to do in kind of commodity cloud environments. So what we built is this next generation cloud that's designed to be able to do artificial intelligence workloads, digital content creation workloads, all the stuff that we know is coming as we see this new 3D internet being developed, these new ways of consuming content coming out, and the new adoption of artificial intelligence as it applies across all of these different fields. You may remember, for example, Jody, just to bring up one example, that we built the AI platform originally for research into COVID therapeutics. It is now being used to do all kinds of different drug research and so on. And we're seeing the application for artificial intelligence in digital media, but we're also seeing it all over the place. So the platform that we've created allows users to access this super high performance computing from anywhere, from their desk at home, from inside the office. It doesn't matter where they are, and they're able to create this content, run these AI algorithms, do all of that sort of stuff on our computing platform. So that's AMP Technologies. Departure Lounge is based on first this thing called the Metastage Canada, which is a volumetric capture stage. Now, what does volumetric capture mean? Basically, what we have is we have 106 cameras in a green screen volume, and anything that happens within that volume, that performance, is captured as a hologram. We then can put that into a game engine and shoot it and do all kinds of things with it to either create a VR experience, create a video game, create a music video, create commercials. We also did commercial shoots in there already as well. And so the idea is that you can capture the performance of a person as a full hologram that you can see from all angles. so you can shoot it later, because you can see, you have that asset from all angles, and when you put it into a game engine, it allows you to use virtual cameras to shoot from any angle in any direction after the fact. So
Wow.
it is the largest, highest resolution virtual volumetric capture stage in the world. And I mean, a really great example, there's a company out of the UK called Dimension that did the Whitney Houston biopic that recently came out. And all of the crowd scenes, I don't know if you've seen it, yeah, but all the crowd scenes, all the big scenes of the you know, when she's in the stadiums, that's all using the same technology we use to capture people and populate that stadium with all those people.
Wow.
So it's real people that are in the stadium, but they were never in the stadium. They were only in a stage, captured in chairs in the stage, and then populated throughout this whole stadium. But because it's actually real people, as opposed to, you know, just kind of, you know, VFX bots. You actually have real people activities, and they can focus in on them with the camera, which they do in several shots, where you actually see the people in the first few rows and so on, and you can see them cheering and doing all that stuff. So it's very impressive technology, and of course it's all supported by AMP Technologies underpinning computing, because it takes almost half a petabyte of data once those cameras are full. They have a little drive in each one of them. So once those 106 cameras are full, that's almost half a petabyte of data that you have to process and go through.
We don't even know what a petabyte is. Like, let's be honest. Like, people,
it's 1,000 terabytes.
Right. So we cap out at tera, not even really understanding the magnitude of that. But because of this growth, because of the computing growth required for these next levels for the Luddites like myself, who are like, what? How does that work? Every time I speak with you, Anthony, it blows my mind a little bit, because I feel like I'm getting a glimpse into what's next. What, you know, and somebody told me back in the 80s that I'd be walking around with a telephone every day, I would have thought you crazy. And then I remember my brother telling me I was nuts for having a BlackBerry where I would check my email. Why would you need to check your email on your phone? I mean, and this is really, one day this is going to all seem super normal, that the holograms that are shot in what we're watching them, we can't even really discern between what's reality and what is technologically creative. And you're at the forefront of that in such a cool way, right here in Canada.
Yep. And you know what? It is, well, first of all, I'm very proud to be here in Canada, but of course, don't forget, we do have already amped infrastructure in LA and Amsterdam as well, servicing customers in those territories. We are continuing to grow that infrastructure as we add more clients onto it. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty amazing. If you think about, you know, walking around with a phone right now, that'll probably turn into walking around with glasses, and you just tap the glasses, and you know, you'll be in the 3D world, or be able to do your search or do your, you know, facial recognition, or, you know, and of course, because of AI and natural language processing, you'll just, you know, you won't type anything, you'll just talk, you know, you won't need to you know, search anything on Google. You'll have your personal assistant that'll, you know, tell you, you know, where the cheapest things are to buy, or, you know, where in the store you can find X item. You know, all of that sort of stuff is all going to be, and it's coming very, very quickly. It's coming a lot faster than I think most people realize. I think the whole like metaverse thing with, you know, Elon and not Elon, sorry, Zuckerberg and you know, Meta's change, and you know, the kind of picture that he was giving of what the metaverse might be has kind of, you know, hit negatively. It doesn't. You don't have to be in VR goggles to have a metaverse. You don't even need AR glasses, which is the way I think most of this stuff will end up getting consumed. You can do this on a 2D screen. You know, anytime you go to, you know, the BMW website and start to look at cars where you can spin them around and get inside them and look around them and everything else on your 2D screen, that's all the same game engine, real-time rendering technology that is being used to be able to give you that display on a 2D screen. So this stuff is happening now. ChatGPT has now made everybody go, oh my God, AI is a giant thing. But I mean, you know, it's just a natural language processor with an amazing search engine behind it to be able to, you know, answer your questions based on just the stuff that's on the internet that you could probably search through Google.
Yeah.
But it presents it in this nice natural language processing
In
way.
this way. Yeah. Which freaks people out and also feeds that, you know, I'm going to say hybrid between Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, and Iron Man, which we're seeing happen. But by the time it lands in our laps, where you are at AMPed, whether AMP Ventures technology, whichever are the arms that you so eloquently explain, you are so much further down the road. Like is always the case, us general public folk, what we are catching up on is like years ago, but it's starting to shrink in how quickly this technology is coming to the first person user, right?
Well, and you know what I really find is most often the case is that it's not that we're so far at the forefront that it's stuff that's still you know, super new that nobody knows about. You actually, it is all actually happening now. You're just not noticing it. Like I mentioned, that biopic from
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston, yeah, that Whitney Houston biopic used this technology extensively. There's, I think, 1,000 minutes of
I meant sort of in our everyday.
Yeah.
So we understand that it's coming to us and we're consuming it, but how you reference, like, I'm going to have my own AI butler at some point that's going to go look for the things I need by just being like, hey, Anthony's telling me something. What's the stock price? You know, and they'll be like,
and you're halfway there already with your phone being able to, you know, ask Siri to tell you what, you know, AMP stock price is today. Or, you know, ask Alexa to, you know, play your favorite music or whatever. I mean, the amount of stuff that is already, it's almost like hard to explain. It creeps up on you because it affects things on a day-to-day basis a little bit more and more. But, you know, basically what I'm trying to highlight though is that as much as we definitely are cutting edge technology, there's no doubt about it. We are kind of leading technology from both a computing perspective and from a digital media and digital content creation perspective. Don't forget, you know, our partnership with Versatile to be able to supply those LED walls for virtual production, you know, all of that sort of stuff. That is totally, you know, groundbreaking leading tech, but it's not bleeding edge. It's leading edge. You know what I mean? It is stuff that is being consumed right now. We're booked.
It's not a pie in the sky.
The Departure Lounge. It's not like something that's coming. It's something that's already here.
Yeah, and you can access it, and you can be a part of what's growing. AMPD is your ticker symbol on the Canadian Securities Exchange. AMPD. Anthony Brown is the CEO and director. We're talking AMPed Ventures. If you want more information, go to AMPD.tech and get more. And of course, you're infinitely available, Anthony, for questions for those who want to dig a little deeper into this and want to nerd out a little bit. Clearly, you're a wealth of information. Our time always goes by too quickly, so circle back as soon as you can tell me who that heavy metal band is.
We will.
Okay. Take care. Thanks.
Take care. Thanks, Jody.